Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Nahh B podcast. I'm your host, Nahh B. I know it's been a minute. I know it's been a couple months, and I apologize for that. But, as we all know, there's a epidemic going around right now called the coronavirus, and it's fucking everything up and slowing everything down. Before we get started, though, just want to take a quick moment just to give out my thoughts and prayers to anybody out there who's affected by this whole thing. It's crazy as shit, as stupid and dumb as fuck as it seems. It's real as fuck, and it's actually taking people out and fucking up a lot of lives. So anybody out there who's, been affected by this whole thing, y'all got my thoughts and prayers, sending my love to y'all. And we gonna get through this. Just stay strong and stay safe out there, man. But alright, with that said, we're gonna get right into it. This is going to be a preview and breakdown episode for UFC 249, which is set to take place this Saturday on May 9th in Jacksonville, Florida. As we all know, there hasn't been sports for a couple months, and this is the UFC's first event since shit started locking down, since the Kevin Lee and Charles Oliveira fight, I believe. And that was in a closed arena. No fans, just the fighters and staff, and that's exactly how it's going to be with this event as well. But yeah, Dana was, he was able to secure a spot in Florida, and I'm not sure how, but as grateful as I am that we have sports back and there's some fights going on this weekend, I'm not really sure how I feel about, this shit actually taking place. As long as every single fucking fighter is tested, every single staff member that's gonna be in that bitch is tested, cool, whatever, you know what I mean? But take the fucking necessary steps to, do this shit, responsibly. As crazy as it fucking sounds, I personally don't think it should be happening still, just fucking be patient. But anybody who knows me knows I ain't the biggest fan of Dana White, and this kind of adds on to that. Money hungry, man. The ultimate fucking circus, though. Anyways, let's move on and get right into the fucking card, though. The main card, which is going to be headlined by a lightweight interim title bout between Tony El Kukui Ferguson taking on Justin the Highlight Gaethje. It was as we all know, it was supposed to be Khabib versus Tony for the 38th time, I believe, or some shit. And of course, it got fucked up again because of this whole fucking epidemic, and Khabib could not get out of Russia. And so, Justin Gaethje decided to step in and take the fight. A lot of people shitting on Khabib, but you're fucking retarded if that's the fucking case. The man could literally not get out of fucking Russia. You're a fucking idiot. On top of that, it's Ramadan right now, and you know how, serious of a Muslim he is and how serious he is with his religion. If you don't know, I'm Muslim, and I'm actually fasting right now for Ramadan too, and that shit is fucking rough, So anybody out there who, any Muslims out there who is also fasting, I fucking salute you, because this shit is fucking crazy. It is not fucking fun. But back into the fight. Interim title bout between Tony Ferguson, who is 26-3, taking on Justin Gaethje, who is 21-2. In the co-main event, it is a bantamweight title bout between Henry Cejudo, who is 15-2, taking on Dominick Cruz, who is 18-1. That's not right. Dominick Cruz is not 18-1. I'm on the UFC website, and they got that fucked up. Fucking idiots. Dominic is 18-2. I ain't even try to fucking waste time and fucking go through it. While I do the editing, I'll put it on the screen somewhere. But the fight before that is a heavyweight bout between Francis Ngannou, who is 13-3, taking on Zaire Renzo Rozenstruik, who is 10-0 undefeated. Before that is a featherweight bout, I believe. Yeah, it's a featherweight bout between Jeremy Stevens, who is 28-17-0 with one no contest, taking on Calvin Kattar, who is 20-4. And to kick off the main card, it is a heavyweight bout between Greg Hardy, who is 5-1 with 1 no contest, taking on Yogan de Castro, who is 5-0 undefeated. On the prelims, the featured prelim bout is a rematch between Anthony Pettis versus Donald Cerrone. Pettis, who is 22-10, and Cerrone, who is 36-14 with 1 no contest. These guys fought, I believe, in 2013. I could be wrong, maybe 2012 or 13, where Showtime won by a kick to the body. And yeah, they're gonna run it back. Should be a good one. Before that, it's a heavyweight bout between Alexei Oleinik taking on Fabricio Werdum. Oleinik is 58-13-1. Werdum is 23-7-1. Before that is a women's strawweight bout between Carla Esparza, who is 15-6, taking on Michelle Watterson, who is 17-6. And before that is a middleweight bout, which I am really looking forward to. Big fan of both of these dudes. Uriah Hall, who is 16-9, taking on Jacare Souza, who is 26-8 with 1 no contest. And on the early prelims, the featured bout is going to be a welterweight bout between my dude Vicente Luque, who is 17-7-1, taking on Nico Price, who is 13-3 with 1 no contest. Both these dudes are fucking savages. This is actually a rematch too, matter of fact. This is probably going to be a lot more violent and a lot more crazy than the first time around. Definitely going to be one to watch, that's for fucking sure. And before that, it is a featherweight bout between Bryce Mitchell, who is 12-1, taking on Charles Rosa, who is 11-3. And to kick off the whole event, it is a, I believe, light heavyweight bout. It could be middleweight, because Sam Alvey do be fighting at middleweight sometimes. But I want to say it's a light heavyweight bout between Ryan Spann, who is 18-5, taking on Sam Alvey, who is 33-12-0 with 1 no contest. Alright, that's the whole card. But like I said, I ain't trying to waste too much time with this episode. I want to, just get right back in the groove. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the whole main card. Give my thoughts and my predictions and, my breakdown for it. And there's a lot of good fights in the prelims and the early prelims. But, like I said, I'm just gonna do the main card, just to get that shit rolling. The first fight is between Greg Hardy and Yogan de Castro, heavyweight bout. This is gonna be new to me too, because usually I have like notes. I'll spend all day taking notes on each bout and, give my opinion and breakdown and shit, but no notes this time. I'm just go straight off the top of the head and see what I could cook up. But for this fight, Greg Hardy versus de Castro, with Greg Hardy, you really haven't seen the best of him yet, I guess. I'm not really the biggest fan of him outside of MMA. He's not really known as the best type of person, but motherfucker's a former professional football player, so he has the athleticism. There's no fucking doubt about it. He has the athleticism. He's a big motherfucker, so he has the power. But we just haven't really seen it yet like that, He's 5-1, so, he's getting his record up. He's, constantly taking fights, trying to, improve, and that's definitely respectful. But, if he really adapts his athleticism into, fighting, he could definitely do a lot better than what a lot of us is expecting him to do, not even with just this fight, just in his career in general. De Castro, on the other hand, he's a banger. He goes in heavy-handed. He's there to take you out. Sometimes he does get impatient, but fighting someone like Greg Hardy, I don't know if he's gonna, go in there guns blazing like that. If he does, though, he better have his fucking counter game up, because Greg Hardy likes to throw fucking wild shots with, his other hand down. If he's throwing a right overhook, his fucking left hand's gonna be down. So if de Castro, if he's fucking prepared well enough, then his counter ability better be fucking, on point and sharp. He needs to catch Greg Hardy sloppy. He needs to catch him while he's getting sloppy and connect. I haven't seen either of these dudes takedown abilities. You know what I mean? So that's really hard to, dictate how if the fight's gonna go down to the ground like that. I personally don't think it is. I think it's just gonna be two motherfuckers that's just gonna bang the fuck out until someone goes down. And Dana usually puts heavyweights on, as the first fight to set off the main card, just because of that. You know what I mean? I think the Castro's last fight was against one of the Samoans, I believe, like Taito Iwasa's boy. I can't think of his name right now. Shit. But yeah, they were the ones who set off the main card for that event. And Yogan de Castro got a mean fucking knockout. So, that's what they're fucking banking on with this fight, setting off this event. Both of these guys are early in their careers, and they both kind of have the same type of style. It could go one way or another. They both go in trying to take each other the fuck out, or both of them are just a little too patient and respect each other's power, and it's gonna be a snooze fest. I don't think it is, though. It's been a couple months since events and fights, so hopefully these motherfuckers are going in there to fight. But with my prediction for this shit, though, I think I'm gonna go with Greg Hardy. Probably by TKO or knockout. I can't see this shit going to decision. If it does, wow. But I can't fucking see it. But alright, moving on to the next fight, which is the featherweight bout between Jeremy Stephens versus Calvin Kattar. This is gonna be a good fucking fight. This is gonna be a striking clinic. You know what I mean? Between both of these dudes. More so Calvin Kattar. Calvin is more of the technical and the more sharper striker of the two. Jeremy Stephens, he just throws and lands bombs. You know what I mean? He has good combos. Not like anything spectacular, but he knows how to pick his shots and he knows how to fucking throw them shits. Calvin, he's definitely gonna have to have his head moving on point with this fight and try to fucking get out of the way every single time he sees Jeremy loading up with his fucking overhand right. He has a mean right uppercut as well. But you know what I mean, if Calvin can play the cat and mouse game and have Jeremy Stephens chase him and and get Jeremy a little aggravated and shit and then start picking him apart after that, this could be Calvin's fight all night. Do it all 3 rounds, just pick him apart with his shots. As long as he doesn't get, suckered into a fucking brawl and just start throwing fucking punch for punch, he has a really good shot to win this fucking fight. Jeremy Stephens, on the other hand, only way I can see him winning this fight is by a knockout. You know what I mean? By catching him slipping and just dropping him, jumping on top of him, and finishing it with a TKO or just knocking him out cold with one shot. Jeremy Stephens' cardio hasn't really showed recently, at least, to be the greatest. It's only a 3-round fight, but the way Jeremy fights, this motherfucker just goes for it. So that could play a factor into this. Calvin is coming into this fight with a 3-inch height advantage, so there's that, and only a 1-inch reach advantage. So as long as Calvin could just, do what he does, what he's great at, which is stick to the boxing, stick and move, and pop the counters, and just fight smart. Don't get fucking suckered in. Don't get suckered into a brawl. That's I like I said earlier. It's been a while since we had some fights, and I know motherfuckers are itching to get back in there. But motherfuckers want to win a fight. You gotta play it smart, and you gotta do your thing and do it the right way. I can't really see this going to the ground. If it does go to the ground, it'll be Kattar taking Jeremy to the ground. I cannot see it ending in a submission for sure. If it does, again, it will be to Kattar. But if I were to pick one of the two in this fight, I'm gonna go with Kattar. I think he's the more calculated and the more sharper fighter out of the two, and a lot more technical. And as long as he plays smart, as long as he fights smart, goes in there with the strict game plan, and adapts the game plan into this fucking fight, he got this shit. But with my final decision for this fight, I'm gonna have to go with Calvin Kattar by TKO or decision. All right, the next bout is the heavyweight bout between Francis Ngannou taking on Jair Renzo Rozenstruik. All right, so it's kind of hard for me to get excited about this fight only because last time we seen Ngannou, face up against another super powerhouse heavyweight that just throws fucking fire to the fucking wind, which was Derek Lewis. The fight was arguably the most boring fight in UFC history. Maybe MMA history. Who the fuck knows? All I know is I was not entertained. And I was very hyped for that fucking fight. But, a part of me had that feeling that something like that could fucking happen. And it fucking did. But yeah, I mean, Ngannou, he said, he'll never have a performance like that again. And with all the flack that he caught because of that performance, I hope he ain't bullshitting. You know what I mean? So, well, we'll just have to wait and see. But, yeah, Jair Renzo, if you haven't seen his last fight against Alistair Overeem, he's, he mainly throws one punch at a time. One huge shot at a time. Sometimes he'll throw a 3-punch combo, but more times than not, he throws one punch at a time. And, if he lands that fucking punch, it's a fucking problem. As you saw in the Alistair Overeem fight. Alistair was picking this dude apart all fucking fight. 5 fucking rounds. All fucking fight. Just about every goddamn second, every fucking minute. And then in the last fucking 10 seconds, he gets fucking popped with a fucking overhand that fucking split his goddamn lip to oblivion and parted the fucking sea with that shit. But, yeah, fucking, like I said, all it takes is that one shot. He throws one shot at a time, but all it takes is that one shot. And Ngannou, on the other hand, if he throws the moment you throw, you know what I mean? If you throw one fucking punch, you always have to be ready for Francis to right away throw 2-3 shots right back. You know what I mean? He doesn't give a fuck, even if he gets, like, hit heavy or light. You throw a fucking punch, he's fucking retaliating right away. Just like his fight against Junior Dos Santos, it showed that, that was a prime example of that. Junior throws a punch, and Ngannou just fucking rushes in and fucking throws his fucking shit. Again, we seen in, his fight against Stipe, his cardio is not the greatest. And, he never usually has to use his cardio because he either knocks a motherfucker out or he knocks a motherfucker out. But, yeah, this fight, though, I really hope it's gonna be fireworks. It's hard to tell, though. Both of these guys are 6'4", so there's no height advantage for either. And Ngannou is coming in with an 83-inch reach advantage, so that is a 5-inch reach advantage on Jair Renzo. So, you know what I mean? If Jair Renzo is throwing that fucking one punch, you better fucking move the fuck back right away and reset. Because if Francis, if he can avoid that punch and throw his fucking shots right back, he's gonna cover a lot more fucking distance. You know what I mean? And just like the fight, like I said, in Jair Renzo's fight against Alistair, he was getting picked apart from distance. You know what I mean? And he couldn't do anything about it. Francis is not the most technical and smartest fighter. He just goes in there and goes fucking balls out. You know what I mean? He goes fucking crazy. But who knows? If he fights smart, this fight could go to decision. But if it goes to decision, more than likely it's probably going to be boring. So, with that said, I can't see this going to decision. I can't see either of these motherfuckers going for a takedown. If it is, it's going to be Francis, for sure. If it's a submission, it's going to be Francis, for sure. Probably with, like, a fucking Kimura or some shit like he used to do. But chances are, it's going to be a fight that's going to end in the first round. My decision and prediction for this fight, though, I'm going to go with Francis Ngannou with a first round TKO. of course, Zayir Renzo can land his fucking bomb and shock the fucking world and completely shuffle up the fucking heavyweight division in the rankings. But Ngannou was the much faster and much bigger, like mass wise. Jair Renzo got a big frame on him, but I think the athleticism of Ngannou is gonna be the deciding factor in this, and the speed. They both got the power. One of the motherfuckers landed, they could fucking end it. But I think it's gonna be a back and forth kinda for like maybe the first 2 minutes, you know, and then shit's just gonna start fucking popping off, and one of these motherfuckers gonna get caught, and I think it's gonna be Jair Renzo that gets caught. So with my decision, I'm gonna go with Ngannou by TKO in the first round. All right, next fight, it's the co-main event, which is the bantamweight title bout between Henry Cejudo taking on Dominick Cruz. If you've been living under a rock and sorry, my back's all kinked up. If you've been living under a rock and haven't been following any of the news in the MMA world, this fight was supposed to be Henry Cejudo taking on Jose Aldo, but Jose Aldo could not get out of Brazil, during this whole pandemic. So Dominick Cruz, being who he is, he's now healthy, finally, thank God, because I'm a huge fan of Dominick Cruz. Love watching this dude fight. And, always entertaining. I'm always entertained by his style, even the way I fight, I like to mimic his style a lot, with the footwork and shit. So he's definitely one of my top favorite fighters. But, yeah, I'm happy as hell he's back. Does he really deserve the shot? I don't know. I hate to say probably not. I think, Petr Yan, I think he probably deserved this shot more than anybody in that division, but I'm gonna be a little biased. I'm very happy Dominic got the shot, but yeah, Aldo was supposed to take it, but he couldn't get out of Brazil, so here comes Dominic. But yeah, so with this fight, Dom, as you already know, he got a 4-inch height advantage. Henry's usually always a shorter fighter in his bouts. And when it comes to the reach, Dom has a 5-inch reach advantage. We all know Henry's, wrestling capability and all of his accolades that he got with the wrestling. So we know that's there. And with the taller kind of opponent, sometimes it's easier to take the taller opponent down when they're lankier and shit. And someone with, the credentials as Henry, it's very possible that he could do that. But we've seen in the past couple years, Henry has evolved and, sharpened up his striking and got a lot better with his fucking striking. With that said, though, I don't know if he can really get into Dominic's face and, try to be the aggressor in this fight. As we all know, Dominic is a dude who, he's a smart fighter, very calculated and very technical, and with his footwork, he's there and then he's gone. You know what I mean? So if you push forward and try to attack, you're more than likely just gonna waste energy trying to, chase him down and shit. And with Dom it's very unorthodox the way he strikes, and his jab. I've heard a lot of times people say like his jab is, horrible, it's ugly and this and that. But with his reach, he really knows how to utilize his jab and get right out of the fucking way. And with the reach advantage that he has, I could see him popping Henry with the jab all fight. So if Dominic could just get away from getting his back up against the cage and just circle around, get right back into the middle, start popping the jab again and move away again, this fight's gonna be his. All 5 rounds, that's definitely how it could go. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's how it goes. If Henry, if he is gonna have success in this fight, it's gonna be with the takedowns. He has to control the fight, If he doesn't get the fight to the ground, it's gonna be cat and mouse, and he's gonna be chasing Dominic all over the cage. And like I said, you do that, you're just gonna waste energy. Henry has good cardio, and he's never shown to gas. Not that I can remember, at least. But fighting someone like Dominic, who can easily make you miss more times than you land, it's very possible that you guys the fuck out. You know what I mean? But Henry wants to win. He needs to get in Dom's face, get the fight to the ground, push him up against the cage, take his legs out from underneath him, and stay on top of him on the ground. You know what I mean? And try to win it by the round. Could Henry, out of nowhere catch Dominic Cruz with like a flash knockdown? Of course. Definitely. Chances of it happening is pretty slim. He's gonna have to time that perfectly to land on Dominic like that. But it's possible. You know what I mean? He's done it to TJ, who is one of the slipperiest fighters, and great footwork, and very tough to figure out. And Henry figured him out. Stopped him in his tracks, knocked him the fuck out. But you know what I mean? TJ, as much as he denies it, he mimicked a lot of his style from Dominic Cruz with footwork and shit. So, with that said, TJ, the difference with TJ and Dom is TJ puts himself in harm's way a lot of the times when he fights. He's there to fight and just bang out if he needs to. And if you're swinging back, he's going to swing right after, and, he'll go punch for punch with you if that's what it comes to. Dominic, on the other hand, he ain't going to go punch for punch with you. He'll throw a 4-punch combo and, get you to fucking throw back, but he's fucking gone. He's not going to stand right in front of you like that. So Henry, he has to push the pace. He has to get in his face and, control it that way. But if I got to pick somebody for this fight, like I said earlier, obviously I'm a little biased. I'm a big Dominic Cruz fan, so you probably already know my pick. But, all biasm aside, this is just all technical breakdown and shit, and my opinion based off of that, I'm going to go with Dominic Cruz. It mainly because of the size difference and, the reach advantage and how good Dom is fighting on the outside and keeping his opponents, making them chase after him all fucking fight, getting them aggravated and making them miss. You know what I mean? Henry, like I said, he needs to use his wrestling if he wants to win. If Henry wins, I wouldn't be shocked. You know what I mean? Henry's a great fighter, and he might be cringy as shit, but he's a great fighter. So if he pulls this off, I will not be shocked whatsoever. But I'm gonna pick Dominic Cruz for this fight by decision. All right. Now for the main event, it is the lightweight interim title bouts between Tony Ferguson taking on Justin Gaethje. As you probably know, this fight was supposed to be Tony Ferguson versus Khabib for like the 30th time that it was matched up. But, of course, shit fucking happens again, and the fight was canceled. And Justin Gaethje steps in and takes his fight. It's heartbreaking that it happened again with Khabib and Tony, but this fight is definitely gonna be fucking fireworks. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Tony, he didn't really have too much time to prepare for Justin, but Tony really only fights one way. You know what I mean? And that's pushing the pace and getting in his opponent's face and pushing the opponent back and, just straight up out cardioing the motherfucker. Tony's cardio is like second to none pretty much. This motherfucker just keeps going. And even when he gets rocked, that adds to his cardio. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what's up with his body. He gets rocked and his fucking stamina bar goes up. I don't know how it fucking happens, but it happens with some people, and he's one of those motherfuckers, but he perfected that shit. But you know what I mean? Justin Gaethje, he's been on a roll. I think he's on a 3 or 4 fight KO streak, and you know what I mean? I think he finally found his rhythm in the UFC. After starting off, his first fight was against Michael Johnson. It was a back and forth fight where he almost got knocked out, but was able to weather the storm and get the finish. But and then after that, he took a couple hard losses to Dustin Poirier and Eddie Alvarez, and everybody thought he was shot. Everyone thought his brain was mush and he was overrated. but he proved everybody wrong. You know what I mean? But this fight though, man, this is a fucking great matchup. It's gonna be hard to really, go against either of these dudes and pick against any of them. But I gotta do it, so let's fucking do it. Going into this fight, Tony has a 6.5 inch reach advantage, and they're both the same height. So with that said, Tony's gonna have to use that jab and those sharp elbows, those very close elbows, anytime Justin gets close. And that's Tony's specialty, using those very close and unorthodox elbows. He'll throw like short elbows, and he'll do it so fast where you won't even notice that it was a fucking elbow that he threw until, at the end of the round, and they show the slow motion clips, and you see like he just grazed a motherfucker's head with his elbow and cuts a motherfucker open. I think it was Pettis, he did that too. But he does that to a lot of people, but the most recent one was Pettis that he did that too. But it's gonna be more of a stand-up affair than anything. You know what I mean? 100%. I feel it's gonna be hard to think that Gaethje's gonna go for a fucking takedown or Tony goes for a takedown, but it's very possible. It's a 5-round fight, so takedowns, it should be a necessity in a 5-round fight. You know what I mean? Especially when you're fucking trying to win it by the round. You want to win 3 rounds out of 5 if it's gonna go to decision, obviously. But I see both of these motherfuckers going in trying to fuck each other up straight up. As we know, Ferguson, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, he had the that horrible leg injury where he like tripped over a fucking wire or some shit during a press conference, and like the meat on his bone like fell, like tore off or some shit, and he came back like 6 months later, I believe, and fought Pettis. But in that fight, Pettis was aiming for that leg and hitting him with leg kicks, and almost right away you could see Ferguson be a little uncomfortable with those kicks and kind of slow down, and you could tell that he was definitely feeling those fucking kicks. Justin Gaethje's kicks are like 10 times of Anthony's kicks, you know what I mean? And it's all on like the way he throws his kicks. He doesn't just side. It's not a side fucking kick chop. He digs in, you know what I mean? He'll go up and in, and like right above the fucking calf. If you ever been fucking hit right above the fucking calf with anything hard as fuck, you know that shit hurts. And Justin, he'll break his own fucking leg throwing leg kicks, you know what I mean? He don't give a fuck. He whips them fucking shits. And if he's smart, and his last 3 fights where he's been getting knockouts, he's been fighting really smart. So if he comes to this, and tries to if he comes into this fight and his goal is to just be technical and just utilize his game plan, he better come into this shit and fuck Tony's legs up from the opening go for those fucking legs. Fuck them shits up and tear it up. It's been 2 years, like I said, so obviously Ferguson's leg has healed a lot better than he had against Pettis, where he fought him only like 6 months after the injury and surgery. But you know what I mean, it's still there. His me, when I tore my ACL and shit, of course my leg now after surgery and like years later, it's stronger than it was before I tore it, but of course it nags me sometimes. So with that said, Ferguson had a much more serious injury than I did, so that shit is bound to fucking catch up to him, you know what I mean, in a fight where he goes against someone with leg kicks like Gaethje, you know what I mean. Gaethje goes in, fights smart, chops those fucking legs up, and then proceeds to throw the strikes up top. That'd be great, you know what I mean. But Tony, he fights better the more hurt he gets, as weird as it is. Like I said earlier, he knows how to get stunned and pick his pieces up right away. You know what I mean? He just picks them shits up and gets right back on the fucking horse and keeps fucking going and gets better as, the fight goes on. 5-round fight, and Justin's taking this fight on short notice. Ferguson's been preparing for a 5-round fight, since the Khabib bout got announced. So Ferguson's ready to go. Justin, he probably has 3 rounds in him. You know what I mean? With those 3 rounds, he needs to, like I said, he needs to brutalize Tony's fucking legs and go from there. You know what I mean? Ferguson, on the other hand, he just needs to check those leg kicks. Don't get too close. Don't get close enough where Justin can land leg kicks over and over again. If Tony gets close, go for the fucking takedown. But don't get close and just try to fucking throw strikes. You know what I mean? Go for the takedown, get him up against the cage, throw those short elbows, try to cut him up. Cut him up, open up the cut, more and more with more elbows or more strikes. And, try to get a TKO with a doctor stoppage or something, But do not get close enough where Justin can just utilize his leg kicks as much as he wants. He does that, Tony's fucked, But with that said, though, my decision and prediction for this fight, probably a surprising one. I'm going with Justin, man. This is a bad matchup for Tony. Like I said, he gets hurt a lot. And he gets hit a lot. And gets stunned a lot. Justin has been knocking motherfuckers dead recently. You know what I mean? Like when Anthony Pettis dropped Ferguson, Anthony Pettis doesn't have that one-shot knockout power. You know what I mean? When he knocked out Wonderboy Thompson, he did like a Superman punch off the cage. So he pushed off the cage to give himself more momentum, to put more power into that shot. Justin, he don't gotta do all that shit. He has the power in his fucking shots, period. So if he lands a fucking mean overhand right, that could fucking completely stun Ferguson, and he might not be able to come back from that, So Ferguson needs to stay smart, stay away, and, fight from the outside. Justin has to fight aggressive and fight on the inside. You know what I mean? Aggressive but smart. Aggressive but calculated and technical. Exactly like how he fought Cerrone. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm going to go with Justin, man. I think this is a very bad matchup for Tony. I don't follow the hype. You know what I mean? I look at the matchup and I go off of the matchup. Matchups make fights, as a lot of you guys already know. Matchup make fights, as you guys should already know. And this is just one of those fights, where I don't know. I can't see it being good for Tony. I see him getting caught, rocked, and stopped. Out of nowhere. Maybe in the later, maybe in the second or third round. But if it goes past that, third round, Tony is gonna be Tony all day, all fucking day. So Justin has to make sure he tears those fucking legs up. So if it gets to those rounds, Tony can't be bouncing around and coming forward like he always does. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm going with Justin, man. With that said, though, this was the UFC 249 preview and breakdown episode. Been months since sports, man, and this is going to be, it's like I said in the beginning of the episode, I'm grateful for fights again, and I'm grateful to, just to watch sports in general again. But, this probably shouldn't be happening, but regardless, I'm gonna fucking watch it. And I'm gonna fucking enjoy it. So with that said, everybody out there, enjoy the event, enjoy the weekend, and stay safe out there, guys. This is, like I said earlier, it's not a joke. This shit is it's a serious thing. It's actually fucking killing a lot of people. As much as I probably joke around Facebook and shit, I know how serious this shit is, so don't take that shit the wrong way. I know what's up. But with that said, man, this was Nahh B Podcast. I am your host, Nahh B. Thanks for watching, man, and I apologize again. I know it's been a long time, but I'm back, and we're gonna keep this ball rolling. Thanks for watching, and quick shout out to all the supporters who still rocking with me and still supporting. Keep supporting. I do this for y'all, and keep on going. All right, see y'all later. Peace.